How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video where today we'll be ranking the whole Jurassic franchise, like actual media that you watch, not video games and stuff like that. With the release of Jurassic World Rebirth, I figured it was time that we kind of like place them all onto a tier list and we can see how I rank all of these films, especially compared to each other. It's been a while since I've done this. Of course, I think I did it maybe a year or two ago, and maybe my ranking has changed since then. Of course, we need to figure out where Rebirth is, and I decided to change something about the way that I rank the shows, because last time I just like ranked the shows by the full season, which was probably flawed from the get-go because there are some seasons that I enjoy more than others. Some people recommended that I should just separate them through season, and so that's exactly what we're going to do. Each season will be ranked separately from each other, which is, again, overall a better way to handle it, I think. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Starting off with the first Jurassic Park film, started it all. Easy S tier for me. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is such a good film. Like everything still holds up and still holds up incredibly well from the animatronics to the CGI. I love the acting in this film, and I just love the way that the animals were portrayed in this film. It's easy, like it's like a near perfect movie in my mind, even if it's separated from like the rest of the Jurassic franchise. Like it's not a near perfect. It's not just a perfect Jurassic Park movie. It's like a near perfect movie in general. And again, it did get the ball rolling. Everything else right here is possible because of this, and by extension, everything else is possible because of the book. But fantastic film. I really love it. The Lost World Jurassic Park is another film that I love, not quite as much as the first Jurassic Park, but it's an easy A tier for me. I think it is underrated. The animatronics, the CGI, everything is still great in this movie. The acting is also really fun, and there's like just a lot of really cool moments in this too, especially like the homage to Godzilla films with the buck at the very end, and especially with the context that the buck is simply just looking for Junior, as it's being, as Sarah stated towards the beginning of the film, as he was being a protective parent or like a caring parent. I thought it was a very cool thing to follow. The designs look really good in this movie as well, and there's a lot of really cool dinosaurs to sort of sink your teeth into. Not literally, don't eat non-avian dinosaurs. Jurassic Park 3, it's probably my least favorite of the original trilogy, and it's kind of fluctuated on where I'd rank it in the past. It was my favorite when I was growing up. But then as I got older, things start to change, and your view on quality also changes as well. When I was younger, I'd love practically everything I watched. I'll probably have it in B tier. I really don't hate this film, so I don't think it needs to be lower than like sort of middle of the road. There are a lot of problems with the story. You could very much tell that there were a lot of script issues with this film. But the dinosaur designs, the creature portrayals, the Spinosaurus, seeing Alan Grant again, all of those things make for a very good film. These are all out of order. I just realized that's kind of annoying. So it says Dominion right here, but we'll go ahead and go on to Fallen Kingdom first, or not Fallen Kingdom, the first Jurassic World. So Jurassic World I really like. I think I place it in A tier. Still not quite on the same level as the first Jurassic Park for me, but it's a very fun movie. It's probably my favorite of the second trilogy. It was a great reintroduction to these animals. I have very fond memories of watching it for the first time, and like there was just a lot of really cool moments with it. Like I did really like the fight between the Indominus Rex and Rexy towards the end, because it felt like it was a very nice kind of like built up to fight, especially after you see like how much havoc how much destruction the Indominus spreads throughout the whole movie, especially after it killed the sauropods and everything. So all that stuff was really cool to see, and it was just a very nice payoff towards the end. So A tier for Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom after that. Fallen Kingdom, I think, is also very good. Not quite as good as Jurassic World, so I place it in B tier. It's my wife's favorite too, or one of her favorite. Yeah, I think it is her favorite. No, JP3 is her favorite. But it's a really good film too. You can start to see the slight drop in quality from the first Jurassic World film in my eyes. Like as some things don't really play out quite as well as you would want them to. And the Indoraptor, of course, was underutilized in this film, but it's still really good and fun. Some really cool designs here, some terrible designs like the Baryonyx, but some good designs like the Carnotaurus, and the Brachiosaurus is also back. It also looks pretty good. It's a fine film, and I liked that they destroyed the island And well, they didn't necessarily have to destroy the island, but it did give them an excuse to not go back to the island, which is something that was later dropped. After that, we have Jurassic World well, let's try to go in vague release order, I guess. Battle at Big Rock. I love Battle at Big Rock. It is exactly what I wanted from the ending of Fallen Kingdom. Dinosaurs in the real world. That's just what I wanted. This was a very simple story. You had families that were just out camping, just enjoying their day, or their night at this point. And then boom, Ceratops shows up. And then boom, Allosaurus shows up. That's great. I love that. We need more stories like that. And I wish that they took advantage of it a little bit more than they did in the current state of the world. But it was a great short film, and I loved it. And it got me so hyped for Dominion when it came out, because, of course, it did come out years before Dominion did. And it was a nice kind of like build up towards it. So that was awesome. The prologue was also released before Dominion, technically speaking. I also think that's an A tier. I love the prologue. I think it's shot beautifully. It does offer a lot of issues for like continuity and for the Jurassic universe. Like, how everybody likes to state that none of the animals look natural because they have like the genome of other animals mixed in with them, even though that's not quite how things work. Uh, well, the prologue really does contradict that a lot, because a lot of the animals that we see in the prologue look identical to their future clones. The Giganotosaurus looks just like the clone. The Oviraptor looks just like the clone. The T-Rex looks just like the clone, despite the fact there's small amounts of feathers. Like that's the only deviation, when in reality there would be way more differences if like that explanation were to actually stick. The Ankylosaurus looks just like the clone. The Ceratops, they look like the clone, and you get the point. They all look like the clones. So that does offer a lot of issues with that explanation, and that's why I sometimes find that that annoying when people just like use that whenever I talk about dinosaur designs, because the prologue does contradict that, and the prologue is canon until strictly stated otherwise. You can't assume it's not canon, like officially, unless an actual like someone with authority says that it's not. Uh, it is still very beautifully shot, and I still love it. I would love to see a sort of dinosaur documentary type thing in the Jurassic franchise, with those types of designs, just like go all in on the fact that this is just an alternate universe and these animals look different in universe, just commit to that by this point. Dominion is not horrible. I put it in C tier. Dominion it's good in some ways, but it's bad in a lot of other ways. Like they didn't really take as much of an advantage of the ending of Fallen Kingdom as they possibly could have. Eventually that just all led to Biosyn Valley, where they just had all of these animals contained anyway, which is pretty similar to an island anyway, which is a bit unfortunate, but there are some cool things about it, like the Malta scene. I like the black market scene because that shows how some humans are reacting to dinosaurs in the real world. The locusts, of course, I don't know why we needed a world ending plot. The locusts are just weird, and they really take you out of the film. The Giganotosaurus certainly did leave a lot to be desired. Its design leaves a lot to be desired too. And yeah, it was a rushed film. You didn't get a lot of time to spend with each animal, because they tried to shove as many things into this movie as they possibly could. So few of them really got the chance to properly shine. And that's unfortunate when you have creatures like Dimetrodon, or the pretty interesting looking Pyroraptor, or the Therizinosaurus, or the Quetzalcoatlus especially. The Quetzalcoatlus was so underutilized in this film, it just hurts. But Dominion I place in C tier, not quite F tier. I don't know if I do have anything. Well, we'll see. Camp Cretaceous. Camp Cretaceous season 1, I thought was pretty dang good. It's like I was hesitant about this show in the beginning. Because that was mostly like the art style and stuff like that. I kind of feel like like when I was first seeing previews for it, I didn't think it would like reach the same heights as like the Jurassic franchise movies. But then I started watching it when it came out, like back in 2020, and I liked it. I got sucked into it, and I watched like the whole season in a single night. So season 1, I think, is a great start to it. So it did a really good job. Same can be said for season 2. Should I like rank these like, yeah, I should have these ranked too. So it's like best is closer to the A, for example. Worst is closest. Like they're all still an A. This is just like a high A, and this is a relatively low A. That's what we're doing. Okay, so in that case, I think season 2 is a little bit better than season 1. Like there was a lot of, it was really cool to see everybody kind of integrated on the island and see all these animals like surviving after the Jurassic World fell. So season 2 was pretty good in that aspect. Season 3 was the best out of all of the seasons. Loved the Scorpius Rex and everything. In fact, I think the season 3 is a little bit better than the prologue. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's where I have it. Yeah, so season 3 I thought was really good. It was probably my favorite season in all of Camp Cretaceous. Just phenomenal season in general. I loved the Scorpius Rex, and seeing Blue again was always that's always really fun. So it was a great season. And then you go on to season 4 territory where things start to drop a little bit, but not quite. It was great to see the Spinosaurus again. We have been waiting to see the Spinosaurus forever, but unfortunately that couldn't save it. The Smilodon too. The Smilodon was also cool, but then when we start getting into robots and things like that, and the chips that control dinosaurs, you start to lose me a little bit. The same can also be said with season 5. Unfortunately, I thought that Camp Cretaceous had a very solid start, but then it just really started to fall off after, like, once we got to the Manticore Island, and then you get to what was his name? The one dude who was in charge of everything. I can't remember his name, but yeah, once you get into the mind control chips where they're literally like playing video games with the dinosaurs, and you get into the Brads, the robots, that was a bit too much for me. Felt very distinct from the rest of the Jurassic franchise. But then we get into like a show that just like dialed things up to 11, if you ask me, and that's Chaos Theory. Loved Chaos Theory. So season 1 was a great start to everything. I think it's no, it goes in A. In fact, I think that season 1 ranks there right after Jurassic World. I loved season 1 of Chaos Theory. They really did a good job at showcasing things like in a way that like you get to see the animals in the real world. You get to see Nasutoceratops in the desert. You get to see Parasaurolophus in the Rocky Mountains. It was great. That was awesome. But that does not even hold a candle to season 2, which is easily the best season of like the whole animated shows, both of them. Season 2, you had Majungasaurus, you had Suchomimus go up against a freaking hippopotamus. That was great. That's something that I wanted to see, is like extant animals interacting with extinct animals. How our modern day fauna interacts with the extinct fauna that has just been reintroduced into the world. On top of that, you have the leucistic baryonyx named Lucy, who was really cool. She was a blind baryonyx, and the white coloration, I feel like, it works a lot better with that baryonyx design. You also have the what else? Oh, right. Geba, the Gallimimus, loved that. And the fact that Geba actually fought an Atrociraptor, that was perfect, because ornithomimids are never portrayed as animals that are able to hold their own. So I love seeing that. That was awesome. That was so flipping cool. I loved it. So yeah, season 2 is really up there. Season 3 does drop a little bit for me. It was not nearly as good as season 2, but I do think it was better than like the first 2 seasons of Camp Cretaceous. So I think I'll place it right here, right after Fallen Kingdom. So yeah, that's our ranking of all of like the previously established Jurassic franchise projects, all of the movies and shows. We finally have Jurassic World Rebirth, the most recent installment in the Jurassic franchise. Where do I rank this movie? This movie, I think, is a little bit middle of the road. I liked it more than Fallen Kingdom. I liked it more than I might have liked it more than JP3 now that I think about it. For now, we'll say that I think I liked it more than JP3. I'll put it right there. It's strictly like middle of the road. It's like a high B right here. It's in the center of this list. None of them are an F tier. I don't think any of them are quite on that level. The only one that really comes close would have to be season 5 of Camp Cretaceous, but I don't think it was really that bad. Nah, I don't think it was that bad. We'll have it in C tier. We'll stick it right here with like these. My lowest would have to be in C tier right after F tier. We could just pretend that there's a D tier, but there's nothing in D tier anyway. So Yeah, this is my ranking of the Jurassic franchise. You have the only S tier being Jurassic Park. I seriously like that movie is just, it's really up there. I love that film. High A tier, you have The Lost World, then Jurassic World, and then season 2, Chaos Theory, season 1, Chaos Theory, Battle at Big Rock, season 3, Camp Cretaceous, the Dominion prologue, and then in B tier, starting off with the highest one is Jurassic World Rebirth, and then JP3, then the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Chaos Theory season 3, Camp Cretaceous season 2, Camp Cretaceous season 1. And then down here, the lowest tier is C tier. You have Jurassic World Dominion, Camp Cretaceous season 4, Camp Cretaceous season 5. That's my ranking of the Jurassic franchise projects up until now. Generally speaking, I do like a lot of these projects, but obviously some are ranked higher than others. And yeah, they're a lot of really good projects here, a lot of A tiers, which I'm quite happy about. I'm glad that there's like, in my mind, there's like way more hisses. There's way more hits than misses. I just combined hits with misses and I said hisses. That's crazy. Man, I woke up a bit too early today. Anyway, yeah, that's my ranking. Be sure to let me know what you guys like, how you'd rank these films and projects down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. And until next time, thank you so much for watching and have an awesome day.